Hey there, it's Nev from the EVERBLACK Podcast here, just letting you guys know that for the entire month of June, we're taking part in the Starlight Children's Foundation's Stream Raiser campaign, where we're going to try and raise some funds for some sick kids and teenagers and help brighten their lives a little bit. You can donate, share, whatever you can do to help out is much appreciated. And we've got some awesome guests coming up for this month as well. All the links are down here. In the meantime, stay positive, stay heavy, horns high.
Hey, this is Trevor Sternad from the Black Dahlia Murder here, and you're listening to the EVERBLACK Podcast.
Hey, human skull, this is odorous from Guam.
Going to the Fear Factory.
This is George Corey from Under Fisher.
This is Jazz from Double Drop.
This is Wade from Our Last Enemy.
This is Mike Nick from Suicidal Tendencies.
Hey, this is Wednesday 13.
This is Bruce. This is Rex from Kill Devil Hill.
This is Gary Lee from Sepultura. You're listening to EVERBLACK Podcast.
Alright, before we go into this episode, we just need to give a shout out to our show supporters, Blacklight Art and Design, who are our go-to for all our screen printing needs. Check them out at blacklightad.com.au. RW Promotion, who are the best in the biz for all your promotional printing needs like stickers, flyers, banners, badges, and more. Go order yours through rwpromotion.com.au. The brutal occult clothing brand Electric Witch, who have amazing apparel from shirts to hoodies to hats to beanies and more. Check out their full range at electricwitch.com.au and put in the code EVERBLACK for 20% off your order. Also, Lumberpunks Axe Throwing Club, who have venues on the Gold Coast, Brisbane and Perth, and it is a guaranteed good time for any occasion like parties, bucks, hens nights, or just hanging out with your mates. You can even join a team. Put in the code EVERBLACK for 10% off your booking at lumberpunks.com. Don't forget to subscribe, rate and review the EVERBLACK podcast through Spotify, iTunes, YouTube and Facebook, and check out all our articles at everblackmedia.com. All right, on with the show. Mark, thanks for joining us on the show, man. How's things going?
Thanks, Nev. All good, mate. It's good to be talking again.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's been a little while, dude. Well, of course, the new Alarum album, Circle's End, comes out this week. Will be tomorrow. It'll be today by the time this is up. And, man, what a hell of a ride. This album is just fantastic. Pretty pumped, pretty excited.
We are, we just can't wait. Like, it's been such a long time in the process that, it's going to be great to finally get it out there and, let people hear it all.
Absolutely. It's been a fair while between albums, and the last release was Natural Causes in 2011. Is that right?
Correct, yeah. 2011, yeah.
Wow, man. So what happened between that time?
Yeah, so I suppose once it was released, it was towards the end of 2011. Guitarist Mark left around the time of releasing the album, so it was kind of like get the band. So we got John Sanders in to the band then, and it was regroup, get ready to go out and do some touring and promotion of the album, which obviously that takes a bit of time to get. So I think we might have done some shows at the end of 2011 and the start of 2012 is when we started to get and do more shows. Then the end of 2012, we went to Europe to do a tour. So 2012 was pretty well promoting the Natural Causes album. after that, it was starting to think about writing new material. And then, so I think from 2013 onwards, then we had, some other lineup changes. So it was almost like a start, stop, get on track with what we were doing with everyone sort of at the time, so songs that we started on, then we didn't continue on, blah, blah, blah. So I think it was until, so at that stage, Scott wasn't in the band. He rejoined the band. I think it was 2013. So once he did rejoin, then we started to revisit some older songs that were written back after Eventuality, and so there was lots of finding our place, I suppose, in what we were going to start working on. That's I suppose the start of that 9 years, and then this album we decided to have a go at recording it ourselves. At the past, we'd always done it in studios, so it was a learning process in itself, and that took time. And then we mixed with Neil Kernan, who was overseas. So there was quite a few things leading up to it, but we're here now. I'm pretty happy with it. So.
And it's fantastic, as I said. And what was the point? Where did the writing start for this album? Where was that?
The writing, some of it dates back to, I suppose we've always had a lot of ideas, but not all ideas ever get used in everything we've ever done. Like I even know some of like bass lines or ideas that I've had that are on this album, I might have been playing around with them back in like the early 2000s, but they never got developed to the point of being songs on the albums that we've released in the 2000s or the one after that. So there's a good 5-6 songs that we started on after Eventuality when Scott was still in the band. He left after Eventuality, so those songs didn't get developed and released on Natural Causes. When Scott came back, then we revisited some of those songs. So there is a mixture of songs that were back in the mid-2000s that have been worked on and redone, as well as new songs introduced in the last 4 or 5 years as well.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. What about the meaning behind the title? How's that working with the concept altogether?
Yeah. So with the Circle's End, so there's no starting point, there's no ending point. Like the concept behind, the circle starting and ending. A lot of what was going on with, the band in itself, certain members had come and left, and like John joined us in 2011, but yet he's been in the band for 9 years. But this is the first album that his music and lines and all that are actually being released. Like we've been playing shows and all that, so that was one element. And then Scott leaving and then coming back, there was all these starts and stops and points and ends that I think Scott came across. There was a band called Circles, and it was a cool title. And then we thought about the meaning. We looked at the artwork idea of what we were going to do with the album, and we've done an album 98, 2004, 2011. Like there's obviously a lot of time and that in between. And this album we wanted to really keep the same themes and that we'd had on the first 3 albums, and bring it all together, I suppose, as an ending of a part of a chapter of the past, but then a new beginning as well. So that's what we tried to sort of come up with, that idea, and then it's incorporated into the album and the artwork, that there's old, there's new, and it's
I get that. I totally, now that you explain it that way after listening to it on loop for the last, week, it's like, I totally get it. It's awesome, man. And the artwork is incredible as well. And I saw the picture of you guys holding the vinyl, how it folds out. Man, that's cool. That's really, really fucking cool. Who
Yeah, pretty
came
exciting.
up with that?
Yeah, well, look, when we came up with an idea of some artwork ideas, and so Ben Hocking does the drums on the album from Levitation X, Nev Pearce, and then his brother John, we wanted him to do the artwork, so we gave him some ideas, and then he sort of went with it, and then obviously took his ideas and developed it, and the piece of artwork that he developed ended up being, a wide piece of art, of which for the cover art is like the middle third. And then we thought, how cool would it be that if we could do something where we, something special where the whole artwork can be shown. And, I just remember as a young, teenager, things got stuck out, Zest doing like a catapult that folded out beyond, I think, was it Beyond the Gates, and then John, one of his first albums he ever got as a kid was Emerson, Lake and Palmer, brain salad surgery. So we were kind of just thinking of ideas of things, vinyl that have something a little bit different that fold out, and then we thought, is it possible? So that's what we started looking into, and it's come to fruition, which is it's pretty cool.
How was that feeling getting it for that first time? Opening it up.
It's been so long, yeah.
And just opening up that gate on the vinyl and seeing it all there in physical form must have been unreal.
Yeah, well, and I suppose that part of it as well is originally we were to release the album back in March and be touring in March and April. So when everything changed and happened, so the covers and all that were in production, that were to arrive a week before we were going on tour, that all went to a halt. So we've only sort of got them now. So there's been this extra waiting period of time. But they arrived, and we're happy now.
Here it is, mate. It's just awesome. And of course, man. Cheers, buddy. There you go. You get nice. Guys, what do you got there? What's your?
Cooper's Red. Yeah, we've got the Cooper's Red going tonight.
Nice. I got the Whackers. Wacky Changies.
Yeah, nice.
The huge. Well, of course, the album's got a lot of mood changes and shades, and it goes, really heavy to really triumphant and uplifting. Does that play into the concept of the whole album as well, and the theme?
Yeah, well, I think in the past, the 3 albums built before this, we've always tried to touch on different styles and different sounds, and not be too limited to to sort of what sort of styles we'd like to introduce into the band. But going into recording this album and how we wanted to come out, we definitely wanted to add a heavy element that was maybe in the past wasn't as heavy as what we wanted to introduce that side of it a bit more as well. Yeah. And the heavier side, the thrash or the production values and stuff. So adding that, and then trying to then also go to some lighter shades or some different styles. I think it was just trying to be true to what we've done in the past, but then try and add some other elements on top of it as well.
Absolutely. I love all the noir stuff too. Or that jazzy sort of, I love it. And then you go into the big heavy parts. It's nothing quite like it, really.
Yeah, well, we really wanted it to be like a journey. It was hard trying to think about releasing the album in this day and age where we hadn't done anything for so long, and just all of a sudden, here's the whole album, because it is a listening journey.
Absolutely.
But then we realised, well, we should give a song or two, a couple of singles, so people can get realise and hear some stuff that we're doing. But then hopefully, people can check out the album in its entirety from start to finish, because it definitely is a journey, which is something that we work to put together from start to finish. Yeah,
absolutely. And it's got a really cool flow to it. But I mean, there's some songs on there like, is it War and Nerves?
Yeah.
I love that track, man. It pops up and I'm like, yeah, it's really cool. It's cool to drive to.
Yeah,
Like it's got
it's pretty like
alleys.
heavy sort of thrashy. It's it's got a. I'm trying to think. The probably of all the songs, like it's got a couple of ideas thrown together from everyone and bringing it. It's like it's a real mixture of everyone. It's not sort of a song idea coming in and everyone adding their parts and working it. It's really different parts from everyone put together that song.
Yeah. I dig it, man. I really dig it. And of course, I mean, musically, it's insane. Really, I mean, it for the journey itself, it's just crazy. And I can't even imagine to think where you guys would even start with this kind of stuff, especially with something, as I mentioned, like the jazzier sort of parts going into the heavy, like, and find that flow as well. Like, where do you start when writing this kind of stuff?
I don't know if there is a starting point, man. I think we just like we try to catch up every weekend on a Sunday. We catch up. We hang out. We have a laugh. We have a couple of drinks or whatever we do. Play some music and just let the ideas flow. It's really just about trying not to limit ourselves and just really just have some fun and see what comes out. Like it can take time to find something that goes with that, but and we'll move on to something else and we'll start developing something else. It's really just about exploration, and we all like similar stuff. So whether it's metal or rock or fusion or jazz or it's all out there for having some fun with, man.
And it's bonkers. I love it. It's insane. That's the word of the. Anyway, it's just.
Well, hopefully, at least, it's something that people can give a listen to, and whether they like it, cool. If they don't, well, that's cool. At least check it out. Yeah.
It's as I said, it's got all the moods, it's got all the shades. It's definitely a hard one to pinpoint, and that's what makes it pretty special, I think. So. Yeah, congratulations.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, that's what.
Thank you, mate. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I love it, man. And of course, you've toured Australia, Europe, US, and I've seen you guys been sharing that stuff online. Have you got a favorite tour or show that's really sort of stuck out to you from all that time?
A favorite? Oh, look. There's lots of shows that are favourites, but and my memory at times is not the best when it comes to like the shows. I know the shows were good, but what happens after the show? Maybe there's a bit more partying, that maybe the show gets a bit blown out. But oh look, we've obviously been pretty lucky and thankful that certain bands have let us. Given us a shot at doing shows in the early days. Like I think one of the first times we outside of Melbourne, we went down to Tassie with Dreadnought. Like those guys gave us a go to go down there and do some shows with them. We did a few shows down there. That was amazing. I think also like getting some opportunities in the early days of getting on like shows like Metal for the Brain and Overcranked, like
legend.
They're all really memorable because like we hadn't played many shows other than around Melbourne and our local, and to start getting the opportunities to be able to travel and do some shows to people outside was pretty special. Same as going overseas. I think definitely one that sticks to mind is going over and playing Prog Power Europe, where we got a chance to go over and play with Cynic and Zero Hour. That was pretty memorable, for sure.
Man, and I remember a band. There was the show you did with us, the old band, Shifting the Parrot. I remember that show.
Yes,
I remember playing with you guys afterwards, though. I don't remember.
Absolutely. Yeah, we had a big night for sure.
Oh, okay. It was a little bit too big, yeah. But I remember watching you guys, and then it's sort of like end scene. It's like a black moment. It was a big night. I just remember that. But yeah, man, yeah, good times. And in regards to, you know, touring over there, touring here, and the States, you know, how do you find it compares to touring here? You know, obviously we're very spaced out and stuff like that. But what are the challenges you've found compared to different regions?
Yeah, well, prior to touring overseas, like for us, like we've never played for more than 1 or 2 days in a row. Like, you know, even rehearsal wise, you know, we would play 1 or 2 shows on a weekend, you know, or, you know, you rehearse for a day on the weekend. We never had the chance in Australia to do more than a couple of shows in a row, you know. Going to the States, I think we did like 38 shows in a row. So I was quite, I didn't know, you know, how the hell was I going to be able to sing for more than 2 or 3 days. Like I'd never done it before. So I suppose a big challenge was thinking, you know, how do we get like prepared for that, or how do we keep our, you know, health up so we don't get sick or blow out shows. Or the big thing that we didn't, I suppose, realise at the time was the amount of travel. Like, travel the States for that amount of time, it is a lot of driving. You know, it's okay to sort of do a couple of shows and drive for 8 or 10 hours, but I suppose we just didn't see the amount of travel that's involved to do a tour like that. You know,
Crazy.
That was a big one for sure.
Did you find that a lot of dudes that I've spoken to have said that, you know, after a few shows, your voice sort of kicks into gear? You know what I mean, did you find that like it was because it's such a big run?
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't have a big range. I'm either, you know, I'm pretty monotonous with the style that I do. I don't go too high or too low. All I found is after however many days that, you know, I could do below, and I just couldn't cross a register. Like the middle of the, you know, the middle of the voice wouldn't go up and down in a smooth line, but it was fine to be able to sing and yeah, do the song for sure.
And
you know, I think, yeah.
Sorry, I think there's a bit of a delay. There we go. I think it's bounced back again.
All right. Here we go.
NBN. What advice would you give to younger bands wanting to go and head overseas? I mean, I know right now with everything that's going on in the world, it's probably not going to be it's not going to be next week. But in the near future, if these bands want to go and do that, what kind of advice would you give them? You know, what have you learned on your travels?
Oh, I suppose the biggest thing that I can think of is that make sure that you're enjoying what you're doing, because if you end up in situations where, you know, you're challenged wherever you are in the world, you want to make sure that you want to do everything, give everything to make sure that you go through with what you set out to do with your band and promote your music. So I suppose your heart needs to be in it, you know. That's probably the first thing that comes to my mind. Yeah. Because it doesn't really matter whether it's a roaring success or whether it's a failure. Like if you're out there doing something that you want to do with your life and with your mates or with your band, then you're gonna be happy with, you know,
Absolutely.
with your travel. And people will experience that from seeing your life.
It's not for everyone. That's for sure.
Oh, absolutely no. It's not for everyone.
You hear bands that, you know, they're like, all right, we're on tour.
I think we intend to do it as long as we can do it. I mean, we're no young kids anymore, but I think we've still got some legs left in us yet.
Absolutely. Fuck yeah, especially with this album, man. I mean, I know, as I keep saying, it's hard to sort of pinpoint on when everything's going to sort of go back to normal. But I mean, you got plans. You got to have plans to hit the road with this album as soon as.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but when that is, I suppose we'll just wait it out and see when it is. In the meantime, yeah, I suppose we've taken so long to get the music ready to get out there. It's like, well, the fact that we can't go out and play shows, we would rather share our music than hold it out for any longer. So it's turned out that now's the time. We'll release the album.
Have you got plans to celebrate with the boys?
Absolutely. Tomorrow, as soon as we knock off work, we're all catching up and celebrating. Yeah.
Oh,
definitely.
That's awesome. Have a few beers.
Yeah.
A feed.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Yeah. I think we're all really looking forward to that.
I'm excited.
Waking up tomorrow today. It's been a long time coming. Yeah.
It's like Christmas Eve for you right now. Waiting for your new musical baby.
Yeah.
That, you know, Christmas Eve, waiting for that, you know, it's exciting.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, apart from all that, have you guys, what's next for you guys?
Okay, so I suppose now that, I suppose it's just letting everyone hear the music, and then we've already started and we can't do live shows, so we've got we're going to do some playthroughs and some live stuff, so you know some people can get familiar with the songs and you know us playing them. Some video footage coming out, like and then yeah, I suppose we will keep a close eye on when things can happen on the live front and work with everyone that we can to get out there and start playing.
Absolutely.
It's definitely material-wise, we've got songs that are already in the pipeline that we didn't put on this album, as well as starting on new material. So being that our history is that it does take so long between albums, it would be nice to be able to move forward and not, say, be talking again in 9 years. That's definitely on the priority list, yeah.
Well, I'm definitely hoping we can go have one of these very soon once everything goes back to normal.
For sure, man.
Come up here and we can a few beers, play some tunes, get a bit rowdy.
Fantastic.
Maybe not as rowdy as that one night. I'm too old for it now.
I don't think I'll maybe rowdier, but after the show, not before.
Rowdy-ish. Yeah, that's the word.
Yeah.
Well, of course, Mark, thanks again for hanging on the show, man. New Alarum album is out. Well, now we'll have all the links as I usually post them right here in the videos. And, dude, all the best to you and the boys, and thanks for hanging out, man.
Thanks, man. Really appreciate it. Cheers.